The log press world record is held by Iron Bibi and was set on the 7th of September 2024 at the Giants Live World Log Lift Challenge. On that day, Bibi pressed 231 kilograms from the floor to overhead to chip his own world record by 1 kilogram. At the time, it seemed like nobody was going to come anywhere near to that record, but less than a year on, it looks like the record could be in danger. The 6 men that I'm going to be talking about today all have a real chance at taking the record. Some may be closer than others, but they all have the potential to do it. Make sure you get in a comment at the end and let me know your thoughts on who you think could be the record holder of the log press. I should say as well at the time of recording that 3 out of the 6 athletes that I'm going to be talking about are confirmed for the World Tour Finals and World Log Lift Challenge that is taking place in October this year. I believe it is October the 19th. Someone who isn't yet confirmed, but I would assume is on the invite list, is the man himself, Iron Bibi. I think it's fair to say that Iron Bibi probably has the strongest shoulders in the world, and if he wanted to continue to chip away at the record, he probably can do so with relative ease. The one criticism that he gets is that he never competes in full shows, or he rarely competes in full shows, and to be honest, I think it's quite a fair criticism. He's got a lot of talent across the board when it comes to strongman. He is extremely fast for such a massive human being. His grip is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the best in the world. And even his deadlift, although it's not the best out of everybody, his max recorded deadlift is 425 kilos, which puts him right up there to challenge for other people when it comes to a full event. He has all the potential to challenge for the major titles, the 4 major titles, but he never seems to do so. He really only focuses on the log press. But looking at the log press alone, I do believe he has the potential to keep chipping away at that record, like I said. And whether he does that in a full competition or does it as a one-off lift, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. He doesn't tend to post a lot of his training footage online, but out of the stuff that he does post, it's clear that he's still extremely strong. He posted this 200 kilo seated press back in like June of this year, and he also posted this 195 kilo standing press out of the rack, which he basically doesn't use any leg drive at all. It's near enough a strict press. Now, I have no idea whether or not he plans on breaking the log press world record again, but to not put him in this list is just doing a bit of a disservice to the man's abilities. I truly believe that if he wants to break it, then he can break it. The next person to speak about is Andre Foitu, who is confirmed for the Giants live show. Now, I've watched MST Systems' video on YouTube, and he says that Andre did get injured slightly at the Strongest Man on Earth, but he's hoping that he'll be in good enough shape to take part in the log lift challenge anyway. Now, Andre is only 23 years old and is the current holder of the junior log press world record, which is held at 210 kilos. Andre might not be in contention for breaking the record just yet, but he's still extremely young in terms of peak strength. And I think in the next few years, we will see him really push towards that world record. At 23 years old, to be pressing 210 over your head is absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, over the next few years, gaining more strength, gaining more experience, he definitely has the potential to challenge for the world record. He is already competing at all of the major shows. I just think the only one he hasn't done so far is the Rogue Invitational, I believe, but he's done World's Strongest Man this year, where he placed 6th in the final, I believe. Europe's Strongest Man, he came 4th, but right up until the last event where he faltered on the stones, I think he was actually in the lead going into the stones, and then he recently did the Strongest Man on Earth, where he placed 10th out of 16 in a stacked lineup, and 10th doesn't really do justice to how well he did because the points were just so tight across the board. Like I said, Andre isn't quite at the level yet to contend for the world record, but he's definitely one to look out for the future, so I had to put him in this list amongst the other people. Next up, we have 2 people that I want to speak about at the same time because both of them are British and both of them are confirmed for the Giants live show. That being Jack Osborne and Luke Stoltman. Luke currently holds a British log press record at 221 kilos, and a few years ago, he looked next in line to take the world record. He attempted it a few times, but in all fairness to Luke, he sort of gave up on his attempt to get the log press world record in order to become a more well-rounded strongman, and it paid dividends. He is now a winner of Britain's Strongest Man and a 2 times Europe's Strongest Man winner, which some people might say the log press world record is more impressive, but I'm sure to Luke, winning those titles is better than holding the world record on the log press. Jack, on the other hand, has been consistently improving his log press throughout the years. Now, at 27 years old, he is right up there to contend for this world record. If you have not seen Jack Osborne, you seriously need to check this guy out. He's done a 200 kilo Viper press, he's done a 200 kilo strict press, push press, he's done a 215 push press as well on the log, and at the Giants Live England Strongest Man, he did 150 for like 9 reps, I think it was, within 60 seconds. He is absolutely insane on the log press. He can take the British record, and he could push for the world record this year. Looking at the Strongman archives, the last time that Jack Osborne lost a log press event was all the way back in 2022 at Big Z's Log Press World Championships. By the way, that is why Giants Live have to call it the Log Lift World Challenge or the World Log Lift Challenge, because Big Z has the rights to the name Log Lift Championships. And just to go on a little bit of a tangent, again, I suppose, this is the reason that I say watch out for Andre Fouitou in the next few years on the log press, because back when Jack Osborne was 24 in 2022, he hit a 190 kilo log press for a max, and Andre Fouitou, who is 23, is hitting 210 kilos. Jack Osborne, 27, challenging for the world record. Andre Fouitou, better than he was at that age. Avoiding injuries is a key part to it. It's not a linear progression, but it does show that he definitely has potential to do so. Back to the two we were talking about though, Luke Stallman recently hit a 200 kilo Viper press in training. Now, I personally don't believe Luke's top end strength is what it used to be, and his lockout doesn't quite look as good as it once was. Now, I would love to be proven wrong. I would want nothing more than that, but just in my opinion, he's now 41 years old, and I don't think he's quite at the level he was, I should say, 3 or 4 years ago. The thing that really interests me though about these two is that they are both competing at the same competition and both are going to want to take the British record. Luke Stallman obviously already holds it, but he is not going to want to lose it, and Jack Osborne is convinced, and I'm convinced, that he can press above the British record. I wouldn't be surprised if he already has. So it's going to be a really interesting battle between these two when it comes to the British record. So although neither man is quite at that world record territory just yet, it's going to be a very interesting battle, like I said, and Jack Osborne is 100% somebody to look out for in the future when it comes to the outright record. Next we have Trey Mitchell, who recently broke the American log press record at the Strongest Man on Earth, only to have it taken off him about 2 minutes later by Lucas Hatton. But he pressed out 485, which is 220 kilos, and the press itself looked pretty comfortable. He did struggle with the clean the first time that he attempted it, but he came back, readjusted, he put copious amounts of chalk all over himself, all over the log, got the clean relatively easy, and like I said, made the press look pretty, what's the word for it? Pretty standard, pretty like he could do it any day of the week. I can't think of the word for it, but you know, routine. Routine is a word. He made the press look pretty routine. I really do think that if he focused solely on the log press, then he has the ability to go for the record. It looked like he had another 5 to 10 kilograms in him when he did the press at the Strongest Man on Earth. And you've got to consider that in preparations for the Strongest Man on Earth, he's prepping for 7 other absolutely brutally heavy events. So if he took the time just to focus on this one event, I think the world record is there. A similar thing goes for the last man on my list. And who else could it be but Lucas Hatton? This man made 490 pounds, 222 kilograms look like a warm-up. I honestly don't think it's a stretch to say that. If he needed to go heavier, he could have gone heavier. The 490 that he did actually looked better than the 482.5 that he did on his second attempt. See, the thing with Lucas is he has an incredibly strong upper body, but he generates a lot of his log pressing power from his legs. So if he goes out of line a little bit on the dip, it makes the press a bit harder. But this man's legs are ridiculously strong. If you have not seen his 600 pounds for 20 reps on his Instagram, then you need to go and check it out. I'm not going to post a video because it's quite a long video. It was posted on the 12th of December 2024, if that helps you find it. But 600 pounds is, what's 600 pounds? 270 kilos maybe? I can't do the maths completely in my head, but it's a hell of a lot of weight. And he does it for 20 reps unbroken. It is one of the greatest feats of strength that I think anybody has ever done. Now, at the time of recording this video, Lucas is not confirmed for the log lift challenge in October, and neither is Trey Mitchell. Now, I'm pretty sure Trey has already been invited to the Rogue Invitational, and I'm like nearly 100% certain that Lucas is going to get invited to it as well, and he may decide to focus on that instead of coming to do the World Log Lift Challenge in October. The Rogue Invitational is the only major show that he has not competed in as of yet. Obviously, he's competed in all three of them so far this year, so I'm sure he would like to do the Rogue Invitational as well. And I actually have a full video about the Rogue Invitational dropping on this channel very soon, so make sure you subscribe for that one, because there's probably going to be quite a lot of controversial takes in it. Now, what I think Lucas should do, and it doesn't matter to Lucas one tiny little bit what I think, but I think he should focus on the log press world record. Now, obviously, this is speaking from a fan's perspective, somebody that wants to see the log press world record get broken. But the other thing is, I don't believe the events at the Rogue Invitational will suit Lucas Hatton that well. We've seen in past years that the Rogue is not as heavy in comparison to other shows. It's still heavy before anybody comments down below what weights there are, but it's not as heavy in comparison, and it tends to be full of medleys, which just aren't Lucas's best events. And I'm not saying that Lucas is only static and he can't move, because that's not true. He's a great all-round strongman. But in my opinion, he has a better chance of breaking the log press record than he does winning the Rogue Invitational. Now, we don't know the events yet. The events for the Rogue Invitational haven't been announced, so maybe I could be wrong, but just judging off previous years, that is my take on it. I also think that he could do the log lift and also do the Rogue Invitational, but just put more of an emphasis on the prep for the log press than the Rogue Invitational, and then he will still have like 4 months-ish to have a little bit of a break and prepare for the Arnold Strongman Classic, which is normally better suited towards him as an athlete, and he can really challenge to take the win there. Imagine he goes into 2026, the strongman season, he is the world record holder on the log press, and then he beats out Mitchell Hooper and all the other athletes for the Arnold Strongman Classic title. That would really put him on the map for everybody, because although strongman fans know who Lucas Hatton is, if you're watching this video, you know who Lucas Hatton is, but compared to other strongmen such as the Stoltmans or Mitchell Hooper, maybe even like Evan Singleton, even Paro Dwyer, for example, Lucas Hatton is not known anywhere near as much as those. And he's a great athlete. He deserves his flowers. With that being said, there's more money in the Rogue. It's a major title. I'm sure he wants to compete in it. And I'm pretty sure Lucas has even said himself that winning major titles means more to him than holding world records. I also don't think he's the biggest fan of world records being broken in like a one event scenario. Like the deadlift, a deadlift only event, I sort of get it, but I feel like he's the sort of guy that wants to break a world record in the middle of a competition and go on to win the competition or podium at the competition, because I don't know, that's what, like Big Z, for example, every time he broke the log press, it was in a full competition. So I understand where people come from when they say that one event, like a specific event just to break the world record, shouldn't really count the same. Out of the 6 people that I've mentioned here today, then, who do you think is the most likely to take the world record? I should add that Austin Andrade probably deserves to be in this list, because his static power and his pressing power are incredibly good. I just feel like there's 2 Americans ahead of him as it stands, so putting him in the list just almost felt a little bit pointless. But like I said, he is an amazing athlete, so he deserves the honourable mention of not being in the list, but probably deserves to be in the list. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.